Mixologists across the Carolinas serving up festive holiday punch cocktails using Cheerwine. In Greenville, one of those holiday collaborations can be found at the Anchorage. So we've got Higgins here, the Beverage Director at the Anchorage. Welcome, great to see you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Kind of a fun concept you got here. This is how Cheerwine is kind of providing inspiration for our seasonal celebrations. How did the collaboration happen?
Yeah, so Cheerwine every year likes to reach out to local businesses and bartenders to try to put something out there to work with their limited time product. For us this year, I picked a traditional style cocktail called a flip. Historically, you would have seen these with beer, rum, and a hot poker, but because we try not to set things on fire in the restaurant anymore.
A hot poker, that would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been, maybe next year. So we went with the cold style flip this year. So we have a mixture of a couple different rums that we're going to work with, some amaretto that kind of works with the silkiness and the ginger in the holiday Cheerwine, and then we have a cinnamon, kind of like Mai Tai syrup, and some fresh citrus and bitters.
Well, walk us through how it comes together and kind of talk to us about your process along the way.
Yeah.
What do we start with?
So when you're looking for flips, a lot of times you're thinking traditional English baking spice, right? So a flip a lot of times is known as an eggnog, but without cream.
Okay.
So when you're building the beverage, you're looking for dry spice, you're looking for ginger, clove, nutmeg, all the things that we associate with the holidays. But you also want that cocktail to be silky and smooth, and you don't want it to be as heavy as what you would see with an eggnog.
I see eggs back there. Let's dive in.
Yeah.
What happens?
So instead of doing a whole egg and cream, what makes a flip is that traditionally it is a whole egg, which seems a little wild, but bear with me, it works. In this case, we're going to add a little bit of rum. And because we don't like putting rum or anything that's like a solvent directly on top of the egg, we're actually going to keep that in a separate tin. Okay.
So the egg has its own mixing area.
Yeah, it has its own little tin. So egg in one side, we're putting our booze in the other. So this is going to be an unaged, like Jamaican and Trinidad rum. So again, playing with a lot of what we consider fall spice or baking spice. We have a tiny bit of amaretto in here. And then we add citrus, which again, we're going to keep all this separate because citrus on top of an uncooked egg is a bad time.
Okay, good. And you identify that ahead of time. It's all part of the process.
Yeah, because as if you think about it, there's a lot of ways to poach eggs or salt eggs. You can incorporate all these things at the last minute, but if you let them sit while we're talking, it'll actually start to kind of set up and get a little weird. Okay. Right. So we get that. We throw in some Abbott's bitters, which is like the original Angus Stirrabark bitters. And then we're going to dry shake it all. So to dry shake something is to shake without ice. Okay. So here.
We don't hear the clinking, but there's something frothy happening in there now.
Yep. So we're just we're emulsifying everything nice and neat. So you guys at home can't see that, but you have a nice white kind of frothy head. And then we're going to add a little bit of ice, not too much. And just like you would throw something in a blender at home with a few ice cubes to froth it up, we're going to do the same thing here. And I'm shaking and I'm listening for the ice to completely dissolve. That way it froths up and sets.
There's a science here.
There is a science. Food science, chefs, bartenders, we all share a lot of the same hobbies. So a cool little party trick is if you're at home and you have a freezer, you can actually set this entire mixture in the freezer. And what it'll do is if you've ever had like an egg custard pie or key lime pie, it'll actually get everything to set up. And once the head starts to completely set, historically I would wait probably 2 to 3 minutes, then you can take your Cheerwine and actually layer it in.
Oh, very good. So this is the finale touch here, the Cheerwine. I'd almost forgotten.
Oh yeah, this is the best part. So because we have these awesome new 2 liters, they are not conducive for this tiny little work. So I'm going to decant a little bit of it over here so I don't make a big old mess.
And you'll get people who've just been Cheerwine fans that know about this. They're going to come in and say, what have you done? Yeah,
I grew up with Cheerwine. When I heard about this product, I was very excited. I love ginger, I love pineapple. You can see a little pineapple in my bar spoons.
And there's that spoon at work. Tell us what it does.
Yeah, so the knurl on the spoon, not only does it help stir, but it also works for layering. So what we're doing is we're very gently rolling the Cheerwine into the mixture without mixing it all up too much.
You're an artist.
Thanks. I try. My mom cooks a lot. I love doing holiday things. I love dry spice. So a little nutmeg to finish, and if we did it right, good straw.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for making that here. And I think everybody's just in awe, but you know, the craftsmanship and what you do at the Anchorage is special, obviously recently recommended by the Michelin Guide. Before we let you go, what's that been like? What's been the impact of that?
It's been really humbling and really awesome. I was fortunate enough to be there in the beginning when we got our James Beard nomination. And what we saw is we got to reach out to a lot of folks who didn't know we were around. 8 years later, there are still folks that haven't been to the Village. So it's been really nice to have people who are familiar with the Guide to come through and give the restaurant a shot.
And looking at this, it's a neighborhood restaurant. You know, the inside, there's nothing intimidating about walking into the Anchorage. Talk about the scene, what makes it so special for people there.
Yeah, so when we opened the restaurant, the idea was we wanted lots of earth tones. The building itself had been an old infirmary for the mill. And so we wanted to display all of those warm, earthy, natural characteristics, but still provide somewhere that was light and airy. Specifically, if you go upstairs in the loft area where the bar is, you see a lot of white, a lot of beautiful shelving that was made from old reclaimed joist from the building.
Awesome. Well, it's a beautiful spot. And Flippin Cheers, thank you so much for making that. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Go check out the Anchorage, located at 586 Perry Avenue in the Village of West Greenville, open for dinner at 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.